This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Belichick, oh how I miss you. I just want to kiss you. They just got rid of you.
Good afternoon. We've missed you.
You didn't flatten that ball.
Right here on the Joe Gaither Show. We've missed you, Bill Belichick. This is the Joe Gaither Show on Thursday. Right here on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. We cannot wait to get into it today with you guys on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon. I am Joe Gaither, and you will follow us at Joe Gaither 6 and at BamaCentral. We cannot wait for today in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios with Mason Woods. We got a lot to get into. We hope you guys are having a great day. Can we hear me? You can't hear me?
I'm getting a bad echo.
Echo. How about 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, I can hear it through your speaker. Is it still? My speakers are off. Oh no, through the headphone, fine. Yeah, sounds fine to me.
Okay. It's a bit different than usually. I don't know what's changed this time. I'm just going to take these off because something's echoing bad for me. I don't know what it is. Bill Belichick is back in college football, though, and this is fantastic. I didn't think we'd see this ever happen. But old Bill is here in Chapel Hill. And what are we going to do about it? What is he going to do? I genuinely am unsure of how this is going to go.
Shoot. Bill Belichick, and I guess that's right where we should start. That is the biggest news. And we will be talking a lot of Alabama-centric topics as well. We're going to be talking about Keanu Coote, his new transfer destination. We're going to be talking about Dylan Lonergan and his really decision, what he decided to do yesterday. We're going to talk about the 2025 schedule release. And much, much more right here on the Joe Gaither Show. We invite your comments, questions, queries, and complaints. But Bill Belichick has me so fascinated because of really just why? Why would you do this? You're 75 years old. You're one of your buddies. I don't want to call him your best friend because I don't know you that well, but one of your good friends, Nick Saban, just retired from college football because of all the madness and the hoopla. This is clearly a young man's game. Look at the Arizona State coach. Sure. What's he, 33, 34, 35? Good for him. Why? You have made it, 7 Super Bowls, 6 Super Bowls? He's multiple, everybody's widely regarded him. Great. You're 14 wins away from being the NFL's all-time wins leader, right?
Sure.
It just doesn't make any sense. To me, the only explanation is the lady friend is bored. And if you're the extremely young lady friend, is
could
bored.
Be a student at North Carolina herself,
right? Needs to take some graduate level courses. She's not freshman level age. She's I've graduated. Like I'm going to graduate school. 24, 25. And so she needs something to do, and he's just like, I just follow you. You take class at Chapel Hill. I'll follow you. We'll coach football, and you'll be popular. I'm a homecoming queen.
I guess he had to just be bored. They had to just both be bored. Bill had to be sitting there watching football on the weekends, just thinking, boy, I would do this differently. It would look a lot different if I was out there. He saw Mac Brown fail at North Carolina this year, and just I believe saw the opportunity to look at a program that has had some success, in the last 20 years or so. It's not like they've been competing for titles or anything, but North Carolina has not been a laughingstock of the ACC or anything. They've had some good seasons, so. It's a program where there's likely a decent amount of resources that could be allocated towards it, especially considering how good the basketball program is. And maybe he just, he saw this as a choice to just really get in and completely have his hands around something and be able to control it. Something that maybe NFL teams were not going to offer him because of how his tenure with the Patriots ended, where it felt like maybe he tried to hold on a little too much and do it his way a little too much. I think he was forced to turn to the college ranks, and it seems like North Carolina is just going to take their hands off and say, you know what, Bill, do what you want. You're the football guy.
400-page manifesto, $20 million
believe
NIL budget.
Up from like $4 million? Where is this money coming from? They get Mike?
It's ridiculous. It's insane. I initially think that, like, on the outset, I think that he's going to make them miss Mac Brown, because my first thought is, you're washed, old man. You don't get into this game. But if you're being supported this way, and really and truly he's bringing in his son to run the defense, just like you did at New England the last handful of years there. His son's been the defense, is the defensive coordinator at Washington. My next thought is, outside of, you're going to miss Mac Brown, is, can the son, Steven, can he not stand on his own? Like, obviously, I do. Look, working with your dad, I think that'd be great. But can he not stand on his own?
Yeah, it's certainly a bit strange. It seems like maybe this is almost his way of trying to jump the line a little bit. I understand, he has worked in, limited roles. He has worked his way up a bit. He did start with the Patriots, I think. He got his first job with his dad on the staff, but he was an assistant, coaching, like doing some special team stuff, I think, and then he worked with the cornerbacks, and then he moved on to another position from there, and so on and so forth, into some defensive assistants, and then eventually, onto defensive coordinator job like he has now. So, maybe, I don't know. It feels like you still need to maybe, serve your time a little bit. Like there are guys who have put in more time, I think, maybe. But
sure. He's been like he's like 38. So he's been in.
Yeah. I don't know. He's
37. He's 37, and he's been in football coaching really since 2012. I think that wasn't really what I was trying to say. My thought was, like,
he's just too weak to do it himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I just need my daddy, or I just want my daddy around.
Maybe.
I just want to coach with my father, or maybe. I mean, shoot, it just doesn't make any sense.
No. On the surface, no, it does not make sense. I will say, I think Bill Belichick did go on the Pat McAfee show last week and give a whole long spiel, not long, but a few minutes, really kind of laying out exactly what his blueprint would look like for North Carolina. And the way that he described it, it might work out for him. It's an interesting plan, because he didn't really even bring up being like a championship team. It was not, we're gonna win titles, we're gonna compete It was, we will be a pipeline to the NFL. I will bring kids in, I will show them exactly how the NFL wants them to play, and I will get them to the NFL. So I think that could be a very interesting recruiting tactic, because, like we've talked about a lot, there are many kids who view college football as nothing more than a path to the NFL. They really, winning a championship is cool, winning a bunch of football games is cool, but at the end of the day, we're trying to get to the NFL. We're trying to get that big paycheck, trying to get that big rookie deal. So, there's not really anybody in the world really that knows what the NFL wants better than Bill Belichick, probably. So I could see how it could maybe work if that's the approach he wants to take. If North Carolina is going to be okay with that approach, I'm sure they want to maybe compete for titles. But I think if this is the route you take, you eventually work your way there. They're maybe going to have to give him some time, and I don't know how long you have.
I don't know how long does Bill Belichick do this?
Like you said,
is it going to be a 3-year project? Is it going to be a 2-year project? Am I just doing this for a season? Am I committed for 10 years? Bill is
72.
72. Okay. Well, you got a birth date? Did he turn 72?
April 16th.
He's going to turn 73 before the next season.
Yeah. Andy Reid, 66 in the NFL. And we look at him, or at least I do, is like, when is this guy going to retire? Yeah, he's elderly out there. I will say, I'm very excited
to see. You think he'll connect with the kids?
Weirdly, he might. He does have this awfully young girlfriend. He connected with her.
We'll give this a second to play. He just needs to hire Chandler Jones to be his recruiting coordinator, and then just play this on every visit.
Oh, how I miss you. I just want to kiss you. They just got rid of you. Oh, Bill Belichick. You didn't flatten that ball. It was Tom Brady. You didn't Spygate.
Wi-Fi.
You didn't deflate gate.
Had nothing to do with it, Bill.
He's insane.
Flatten that ball.
It was all Tom. It was all Robert Kraft.
So
When it
Wi-Fi
should've been Mr. Kraft.
Clean program. Clean franchise.
We're
Bill
going to North
Belichick.
Carolina now.
As long
We're
as
gonna
you
make
cut
it
the
a
check,
dynasty.
like a rum in.
The
Wi-Fi
cutoff Carolina
area.
blue hoodie
They
is going to
call
be beautiful. I'm
it
going to have to
a
buy
dynasty.
one. They're gonna, they're going to be selling them. I'm going to have to buy
He
one.
got
You're gonna see me
7
rocking it on this
Super
show.
Bowls.
IL.
It's going to be beautiful.
Oh, Bill
Gonna be perfect.
He made me the man I am.
1/3 length sleeve.
He made
Oh, yeah,
me
like,
the
put
man I
Chandler Jones
am.
track on. Like,
Oh,
okay, we don't.
Bill
Sure, he's a little
Belichick.
crazy, a little loony.
He'll connect with kids.
Yeah.
I just love it. He was
Hope y'all like that.
on one that night on social media.
Belichick.
He
What
was
that,
on one
4 or
for
5 years ago.
Yeah, a few weeks there, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
It seemed like.
CTE's a monster. So Bill Belichick, welcome to college football.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Maybe see you in a bowl game. Oh,
I-
not zero chance that we see Bill Belichick in the Mayo Bowl.
Follow that.
Does he just send his son to say,
Absolutely.
go
Yeah.
get the Mayo?
Absolutely no chance that Bill Belichick is getting covered in mayonnaise. Man. Maybe he would take some Cheez-Its. He wouldn't do the mayo.
Something dry, something easily brushed.
You think if they go to the Pop-Tart Bowl, he'd sneak a bite of the big Pop-Tart?
Sure. That's that seems doable.
Man, oh man. I just don't know what to make of this. I tell you, I am supremely excited to see how this works. Because,
I am too.
it is exactly split 50-50 in my head of this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, or this is so stupid it might be genius.
We'll see how it goes over the next 6 months and really how they handle the transfer portal right now because he's hired. So that's going to be your next big task, Bill. Welcome to college football. Jump in the transfer portal and find you some guys. Jason, let's tell our friends about Purple Turtle Roofing. They're the most reliable residential roofing replacement company in Alabama and Mississippi. Whether it's addressing roof damage, leaks, or general wear and tear, Purple Turtle Roofing is going to be there to deliver exceptional roof repair for your property. They're the leading expert in local residential roofing solutions, specializing in providing unparalleled service and quality craftsmanship for all your roof replacement needs. Call Dustin Foley and his team today at 877-PT-ROOF-5 for your free roof inspection. That's 877-787-6635 to schedule your appointment, and one of their qualified employees will come check out your roof for free and make sure you're prepared for any and all of life's storms. You can check them out online today at roofturtle.com.
Did you happen to see who Bill Belichick passed, or who North Carolina passed up to hire Bill Belichick?
I did. Tell the people.
Georgia defensive coordinator Glenn Schumann.
Oh, that
Was
not
there
the name
another
I
one?
thought you were going with. That's a good name.
Who we got? Who's the one you saw that I missed?
I saw a next level candidate, the secondary candidate, Tommy Reese.
Oh, wow. That would have been interesting. Both of those, I think I definitely know, or at least have heard Schumann's name brought up. It seems like the last 2, maybe 3 years for like some head coaching jobs, maybe just the last 2. I think he flirted with the Eagles, flirting with going to the NFL a season or 2 ago. Georgia obviously has had a very strong defense. Seems a bit risky to not hire someone, or 2 guys who look like up and coming coaches in college football for someone who you maybe have less than 10 years with before he wants to retire. But hey, maybe North Carolina just really likes Steve Belichick.
That's like that. That's part of the deal. You got to take my son as the successor.
Maybe they're just they're waiting. They know they've got a Jim and Steve.
Old Stevie with his dirty mullet. I know my facial hair is not that great, but his is worse. His is even.
He embodies the Belichick attitude.
Yeah, his is even patchier than mine. Mason, we had some. I don't know. Do you call it bad news on the Alabama football front yesterday in the middle of the day, seeing our AI quarterback Dylan Lonergan go in the transfer portal?
I don't want to say, bad news for Alabama, sure. I don't want to say bad news in general. I never want to say it's bad news. These guys are going to find potentially a better situation for themselves, so I wish them the best. But yeah.
Sure, that's what I was implying.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but certainly not, ideal for Alabama. You never want to lose a player that you have, brought in. So like me and you have talked about on this show, we both liked what Dylan Lonergan did. You just called him the AI quarterback right there. He plays the game like a computer would. If you set up a quarterback simulator, like he would be it. He is just calculated. He is calm and collected at all times. And I think he will probably have a lot of success wherever he goes. I don't think he is going to go somewhere that asks him to fling the ball 45 times a game and, throw for 5,000 yards in a season. But if he goes somewhere that asks him to just be that, hey, we just need you to be efficient, he'll probably have a lot of success. I feel like I could see him going to the Midwest somewhere.
North Carolina quarterback Dylan Lonergan.
Oh, maybe. Wow, that'd be something.
Because to me, like, that's kind of a joke, but to me, he plays the game very Tom Brady-esque, where it's just, I say robotic, but that sounds like a negative. It's very 1, 2, 3, hitch, and the ball is out. 1, 2, 3. I'm going from 1 to 2 to 3. 1 is not there. 2 is not there. 3. The ball is out.
There's just never any second thought to anything he does.
No wasted movement.
Yes.
No wasted movement and no second guessing of himself either. It's like, I'm getting to the bottom of my 5-step drop. 1 is there. Bam, ball is gone. Like, I'm not even wasting time getting to 2 and 3 or trying to mess with it. He just, I don't think that Alabama is going to miss him particularly, specifically.
Sure.
Miss Dylan Lonergan. But I think that you're going to see him excel somewhere, maybe in North Carolina, maybe an ACC squad. I have no idea. I have zero idea. But I do expect him to be in the mix, and for you guys to be seeing his box scores, whether you're watching his games or not next year, and thinking, "Oh man, we could have played him in this year." I don't think you could have played him this year, as he felt like the offensive line struggled so much in pass protection, and he didn't get as much in the traditional run game. Now, maybe you could have gone through some growing pains in the early part of the season offensively. That kind of would have been conventional wisdom, but I think the team dynamics told you that wasn't going to happen. So this, when you see him excel, I wouldn't go say, "Oh, we could have played him in 2024, and we wouldn't have been 9-3." I think 9-3, pretty good year. It's going to stink to see him go, but I think he's going to do very well. But I think it's just part of the call. Look at the quarterback room right now.
It is what it is. This is the nature of the beast of college football. You said it though. I don't think you'll really miss him on the field. But the team may miss his presence, in the quarterback room as just a voice in there. I think he was a guy who, like you just said, he really knew what he was doing. He was very, very good at what he did. And he never second guessed himself or anything. It seemed like every movement he made, he was fully into it, fully doing what the thing that he knew to be doing right. So he will probably find some success somewhere if he can get him a good offensive line.
Let's talk about another Alabama transfer. Analysis decision. How we feel? Alabama, you gonna see Keanu Coote again? Because we'll get into the 2025 schedule. But Keanu Coote, former Alabama Wolf,
yes,
announced his decision that he's transferring to SEC superpower Vanderbilt.
The new kid in town, Vanderbilt.
The Doors. What'd you think about that fit?
Hey, I don't hate it. Vanderbilt, they held teams under 300 yards last year, so they had a pretty decent defense. Yeah, I don't know, player-wise, who all, if any, if anybody's going to the draft, who all's leaving for the Vanderbilt Commodores next year. But he joins a defense that performed pretty good in 2024, so he's a relatively talented player. A former 5-star recruit, former number 5 overall edge rusher in the country. Probably a good get for Vanderbilt. Probably going to thrive there. Probably going to eat Alabama's lunch when Vandy comes to town.
That's what I was going to get to. Keanu Coote versus Elijah Pritchett, Wilkin Formby, Caden Proctor,
Wilkins won't lock him down.
Or transfer portal lineman X.
I maybe like the way that transfer portal lineman X sounds in this scenario, because he's a very talented player, Keanu Coote.
Caden got him. If he lines up on the left side, you're done. You're done. But don't even worry about it.
Yeah, but man. That right side.
He's not man enough to take down Caden Proctor.
No. Caden Proctor eats his lunch, but he gets on that right side of the line.
You got some questions?
They're rotating Wilkin Formby, rotating
Not Miles McVay anymore.
No, not
Elijah Pritchett.
Yeah, Elijah Pritchett. Yeah, there's a bit of a question mark on that right side of the line, and that might pose some issues when Alabama.
We'll get Casey Poe out there.
Yeah.
On the right side. Come on, get him in the mix.
This is a good get for Vanderbilt. This is I think this is big for the Commodores.
Did he pick Vanderbilt because they're on the Alabama schedule this year, or
You have
because
to
they're
think
an
that.
up and comer, or
I think-
what's the motivation here?
I think both things play into it.
Because of Nashville itself, just a cool city, fun
Maybe.
town.
I mean, Nashville's cool. I certainly think that he maybe looks at Alabama. I think maybe he looks at Alabama's 2025 schedule and he just starts picking teams from there to see who do I want to go to, who do I want to transfer to. Okay. Well, he looks at Georgia. I don't want to go to Georgia. Looks at Wisconsin. I don't want to go to the Big Ten. It's too cold up there. Looks at Vanderbilt. Ooh, that's interesting. Looks at Missouri. I don't want to go to Missouri. What's happening in Missouri?
You're losing.
You don't want to go to Tennessee. They had a really great defense last year. You're not going to get on the field probably. South Carolina, same thing. LSU, who wants to go play for Brian Kelly? Oklahoma is an interesting choice, but again, you got to go all the way out to Norman. It's far away from everything. Auburn, you're definitely not going to go play for Hugh Freeze. So, I mean, Vanderbilt's your best option here.
You're
You
right.
have to play your former team.
It's good logic. Oh man, so Keanu.
I think that's exactly what he did. He pulled his schedule up and he said, went team by team. I don't want to go there. Don't want to go there.
Maybe,
That one looks interesting. Maybe. Don't want to go there. Yeah, Vanderbilt it is.
Go
He
Doors.
called up Clark Lee and he said, "Hey, coach, I'm coming." Clark said, "Okay, thanks."
Did he do what the Florida linebacker tried to do? Have you seen what this guy did? Let me pull up his name. Pyburn something.
Yes. Oh my Lord.
Is that his name?
Something.
Jack Pyburn. Jack Pyburn asked Florida, look, I love NIL, but this makes me say, what a turd.
Mhm.
What a turd. What a total turd. He asked for Florida for $45,000 a month per month. Okay,
Boo.
fine, whatever. I'll say good to that. You say boo.
If you did something last year,
Pull his numbers.
I don't
while I read
believe
this.
he did anything.
Okay, pull his numbers while I read this. He asked for, this is where I say boo, guaranteed starting position at outside linebacker, big boo. Earn it, buddy. Be out there and earn it. He asked for a guaranteed to play on third downs, big boo, and then more snaps in the rotation. Big, like those three things are like all the same, right?
Yeah.
The three requests, they're all the same. Like obviously outside linebacker, third down, edge rusher, want to get my sacks up, right?
And edge rusher had 1 sack last year.
1 sack. How many games did he play? Are you looking at game logs or anything like
Let's
that?
see game log here.
You have any tackles other than
He had 60 tackles on the
60,
season.
60.
So he had a decent amount of tackles. 1 sack, played in every game.
They just wanted more opportunity, but he tried to.
But earn it.
Tried to.
If you were
Right.
good, you would get that opportunity, Jack.
Tried to twist his arm. Come on, and Billy Napier said no.
Whoever his agent or
I'm sure
agent. We use that term very loosely for these NIL agents because many of them are not licensed agents. They are just. It's a very predatory business for many of these college athletes, and many of them get bad advice from these guys. I think this guy absolutely got some bad advice from an agent somewhere saying, "Oh, you're better than that. You deserve that. They need to give you that."
I don't have any issue with the money request. I mean, that seems like a little steep to me, but I mean,
yeah.
But I'm a cheap son of a gun. But like that seems like a little much
to me.
So you're asking, you're like, if I'm a coach. It's my job on the line, right? Which is basically my livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these coaches are married, so you get your family's livelihood. I don't have any issue giving you the diamond rings, the Lamborghinis, giving you the NIL. I don't have any issue with that at all. Don't dictate how I can coach on the field on Saturday because I'm just trying to win the bleeping game for what's best for my program, what's best for get wins for my record, so that my family stays in the town,
Yeah, that's valid.
so that I can control my future.
Yeah.
Coaching, you don't control your future unless you're winning. If you're losing, you're getting fired and you're searching for jobs. If you're winning, then you can pick and choose.
Sure.
Don't dictate what I can do on Saturday.
Yeah.
As far as rotation goes.
This is a very bad look for this kid. I don't know what teams will be seeking his services after requests like this have come out.
Kennesaw State.
Yeah, it'll be
Jacksonville State.
There you go, buddy. You're gonna go from Florida to maybe in the FCS.
Maybe West Virginia. like Big 12 schools. Houston?
Maybe.
I think Big 12 schools would.
It's a tough one. That's a bad look for you. You got some bad advice. You shouldn't have listened to somebody. You should have kept your head down and worked harder.
Speaking of transfer portal, just before we get to the 2025 schedule, you guys are watching the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, hanging out with Mason Woods. You can follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Arizona State. Have you seen what this coach has done as far as the transfer portal goes with his guys? Obviously, they're in the playoff. First round bye. It's not Rob Dillingham. It's Kenny
Dillingham.
Right. So Kenny Dillingham is the Arizona State coach, and he says, look, I know that I've got guys on my team that want to go in the transfer portal. Done. It's every year. He says, I also know that a lot of these guys are going to be conflicted about trying to stay for the playoff run. Transfer portal closes. The winter window closes, I think, on December 30th, December 31st. I think it's on the 30th, the last day of the month. He says 3, 4, 5 days ago that I've told all my players, Billy fullback, Billy wide receiver, if you want to go in the transfer portal, if you think that's the right move for you, but you also want to continue this ride with us, those options are both available to you. You can go in the portal. I'll help you find your next school at Western Tech University. And if you still come to practice, hit the meetings, do the right things, you won't lose your spot on the team. What do you think about that?
I like it. I think it opens the door for players to, if they want to, do things the right way. We commend players like Jaleel Hurley.
He said it's key. He said, got to come to practice.
Yeah.
If you're off on other visits, missing practice, that's a different thing.
I think this is great. We commended Jaleel Hurley this year for kind of doing this with Alabama, for riding it out. We knew he was going to be in the transfer portal, but he stuck it out with the team, and he was practicing every day. So I think this is awesome. I think this is it should be the blueprint of how coaches should handle this moving forward. This, props to you, claps for you, Kenny Dillingham. This is a great way to handle this. It incentivizes the kids that to continue to be on the team, if that is something they wish to do. And for the ones that don't, there's no hard feelings. I think it's great.
Yeah, I do too.
I really like this. I really like this coach. I think he's a great coach. He's a really likable guy. He's a hothead, but I like him.
He's the kind of coach where if I'm an Arizona State fan, everything he does.
Please don't take him from us.
Right. Everything he does, I'm drinking it out of a 10-gallon bucket, and I'm just like, yeah. If I'm the Arizona fan, if I'm, what are they, Wildcats? If I'm an Arizona Wildcat fan, I'm thinking, this mother, I hate him. And you probably want to.
You look at his Twitter feed, and it's just him for like all these players that have entered the transfer portal. He quote tweets every one of them. Great kid. This guy can absolutely fly. Coaches, look out. Can't wait to finish this thing out and then find you a spot closer to home. Here we go. He's a baller. Flat out can help every team you want, any team that wants it. He's supporting his guys. I think this is awesome.
What does that do for him in the transfer portal?
I think it helps.
Exactly.
It just tells everybody, hey, this is a cool coach. This is a modern coach. This guy's not going to do things the old way. You said it right at the start of the show. What is he, 34 years old, something like that? So this is how college football is going to look moving forward, and I think we're starting to see it with younger coaches that are getting these head coaching opportunities. They have come up in a system where they have been molded by this transfer portal, by this NIL, by this just modern college football. So now that they're getting their opportunities, we're seeing how it should look.
He's 34. He'll be 35 before the new season starts.
I really hope he stays at ASU.
Yeah,
I hope nobody big tries to come steal him away.
He's an ASU grad.
So I think he's going to be there.
Right. It's a little different when it's your alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is going to be there, and I hope they keep doing well. I mean, with Alabama out of the playoff,
I'm rooting for the Sun Devils.
they're
I've
one of my
always had
darlings.
a soft spot. It's like that Sun Devils and Razorbacks are like the two coolest mascots in all of college sports to me. They're just the most unique. They're the only one of their kind. It's awesome.
Forks up. All right, Mason Woods, let's tell everybody where we are. We're in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We are live off of McFarland Boulevard right here in Northport, Alabama. You can find us right off of Highway 69, just past the Tiger Rock on the left. Derek Daniel and his team are happy to take care of all your insurance needs. They're upstairs right now. You can call them at 205-758-3391 for all of your insurance needs. Red, Reese, and Victoria will be happy to take care of you. Auto insurance, life insurance, homeowners insurance, really whatever you need. Boat insurance, renter's insurance, they can take care of it. Call them again at 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel and State Farm is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. Mason, a little frost this morning.
Mm-hmm. 2026 number one quarterback, Jared Curtis. Thoughts on North Carolina hiring Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach of all time. Definitely want to get up there and meet him. Old Bill starting to already cook things up in Chapel Hill.
Think that's going to be enough? His aura is just enough to get recruits over there, and they can say, "Oh, Bill, nice to meet you," and he can just shuffle them over to the NIL people, like, "Hey, go sign your papers."
I certainly think that he has enough, just by name recognition alone, to be like, I can trust this guy to get me to the NFL. If I'm sitting here as a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid, you're not going to look at Bill Belichick and say, all right, he won't get me to the NFL.
Do you think that Nick Saban, they've talked over the last 8 months, and Nick Saban's just been like, so I figured out the trick, Bill, about 2009 was just promise these kids you'll get them on, and they'll just come to you.
Surely. I mean, I know they've had a conversation about this. And maybe even leading up to this, it was just Bill and Saban kind of concocting this plan together of like, how can we reinvent how we approach coaching college football, because Saban was so sick of the NIL and think, not that ran him off, but he was growing tired of it, I think. Maybe they just got on the phone together and thought, how can we do this and not have that be such an annoying aspect of it? How can we pass that off to somebody else and just change things up? And Saban's pulling strings from the background.
I just want to kiss you. They just got rid of you. Oh, Bill Belichick.
Did you see who Alabama's going to be playing at quarterback for Florida State next year?
It was Tom Brady.
Thomas Castellanos. That's a deep drive in the left field by Castellanos.
Yeah, what are you doing, Florida State? Florida State is going back to the transfer portal for a quarterback who quit on their team in the same. I know Castellanos put up. Look at him.
He put up some gaudy numbers the first 5 weeks of the year.
Yeah. He played 4, 5, 6 games this past year, and Bill O'Brien pulled the plug on him because they had a tough one, and he took his ball home.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna go to the transfer portal for a quarterback, go get you Jackson Arnold.
Yeah,
something like that. Look, I don't know if Jackson Arnold's the greatest quarterback ever, but
I think he's a better option than Thomas Castellanos.
Yes.
And I think if you're Florida State, you have the resources to compete for the top candidates in the transfer portals. Say, regardless of how poorly your last season went, you're still Florida State. You still do hold that brand recognition for now. You have another one of these seasons. You might not have it much longer, Mike Norvell, but for now, Florida State is still Florida State.
Good transition, Mason, because we do want to talk about the 2025 schedule that was released. We knew all the opponents, but finally the order and the dates were set in stone yesterday by the SEC. Just real quickly, Alabama at Florida State versus UL Monroe versus Wisconsin, Open at Georgia versus Keanu Coote and the Vanderbilt Commodores right here in Bryant-Denny Stadium. You can say hello to Keanu Coote.
Will Diego Pavia get his other year of eligibility?
No. He won't. He might. I'm not saying no as a fan. I'm saying no as I really don't think he will.
I don't think he will either. I don't think he has a good leg to stand on with the argument.
Neither do I. I think Alabama's at Missouri, then you're versus Tennessee, then brutal,
Mm.
brutal back-to-back
Mm-hmm.
versus Tennessee, then at South Carolina, then open, then home against LSU, home against Oklahoma, home against Eastern Illinois, and then on the road, down on the plains to those Auburn Tigers.
Mm-mm-mm. That
What do you think about
dastardly
this?
school from West
This looks
Georgia.
like the exact carbon copy of this year's schedule, but it's
yeah.
harder.
Yeah, this is the same schedule.
It's harder.
Like this stretch, and Missouri is still a talented team. I don't know what they're going to look like next year,
But
but
it's a harder schedule.
yeah, this good Lord,
I hope
at
everybody
Georgia,
was happy with 9-3.
man.
Oh gosh.
I'm trying to point out or trying to pick out one stretch in this that is but I mean, you go 4
Brother,
games,
yeah.
5 games, Georgia, Vanderbilt,
5 to
Missouri,
9.
Tennessee, South Carolina, and then you have your bye week, and then it's like, oh wait, just kidding, you still got LSU and Oklahoma back to back. Man, Greg, get in the. What are we doing, Greg? Come on, get up there and talk to old Sankey and make something happen.
All the Georgia people this year wanted to talk about, the SEC hates us. The SEC, no, they didn't. The SEC is just hard, buddy. Just wake up and look at all the other schedules. All these schedules are hard. This schedule is nasty, but there's nothing you can do about it. You're at Florida State, which they look like they're not going to be very good at the moment, but still transfer.
You never know, honestly. Right? Yeah, it could flip on a dime.
The non-conference schedule is really strong. At Florida State, home against UL Monroe, and you're like, okay, that's not they're a good little team.
If you're going to schedule a team of that caliber, they're a solid team of that caliber.
Yes, exactly. And then Wisconsin returns to Tuscaloosa. They had a bad year this year, but
when that game was scheduled, that should have been a good game too.
Yeah, their starting quarterback tore their ACL in the first drive of the game against us.
Back in the transfer portal, by the way.
Good. Nobody wants your broken butt. Nobody wants you. And then this is at Georgia, and you can talk about Vanderbilt all you want, but that game's gonna be hyped. That game is going to be hyped. At Missouri, I think the schedule is pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean,
Tennessee. I think Tennessee at home, you're probably going to get them. But look,
I think Alabama, from what I'm looking at, by far has the most respectable out of conference schedule. Maybe LSU has an argument for it with Clemson and La Tech.
1-3 this year on the road in the SEC. Does that get any better next year? I mean, look at this road schedule. At Georgia, Missouri, South Carolina, Auburn. There's your 4. How many wins of these 4 are you getting? 2? 2. That's what I feel safe about saying. I don't feel safe about saying 3. At Georgia.
No, I don't feel safe
Missouri,
about saying 3 either.
At South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Kalen DeBoer, does he know what Sandstorm is?
Hopefully his daughter's filled him in. She's young and hip. She's maybe told him.
Can I just text it to him, Coach DeBoer?
Hey, Coach, here. What you need to do next time you have the press conference, you just need to slip him a little piece of paper that's just Darude Sandstorm. He won't know what it means, but he'll know to look it up.
That place is going to be off the chain that night. Because they're going to put it at night, and they're going to be wearing those black jerseys. And
Dylan Sampson's not Sampson.
Evan Stewart.
Yes, he's just going to be shooting everyone on Alabama's team. And we are sitting here talking about how hard that one's going to be. That's one of the 2 I think they have the better chance to win. And
at Auburn's not going to be easy either.
No, I feel worse about at Georgia and at Auburn just because of. Say what you will. There is legitimate voodoo, chaos, witchcraft that happens in Jordan-Hare Stadium.
I hate that saying. There's no science behind that. You can't say that.
It happens. I don't know how it happens, but it happens. That is where all of the strange things for college football come to happen. It's like the whole world culminates onto one cataclysmic event in Jordan-Hare Stadium at least once a year. It's crazy. So I don't love this. Oh man.
I hope the people were happy going 9-3.
I
mean, look. Okay. Just bam, gun to your head real quick. First thought. Florida State.
That's a win.
All right, Louisiana Monroe, faster.
Win.
Wisconsin,
Win.
at Georgia, faster.
Loss.
Or
Win.
at home.
Win.
At Missouri,
Win.
Missouri versus Tennessee.
Win.
At South Carolina
Win.
versus LSU.
Win.
Versus Oklahoma.
Loss.
Oh, at home versus Eastern Illinois.
Win.
At Auburn.
Win.
You just gave them 10-2.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win at Auburn.
You
But,
just gave them 10-2.
they're gonna drop one at home. I got a feeling.
You better not.
Got a bad feeling about
You
that
better
Oklahoma
not.
team. Got a bad feeling about this Oklahoma team coming to Bryant Denny next year.
Why?
Look at what they did to us this year.
Well, that you don't think that that's going to be earmarked
Sure.
from the staff, like, hey buddy,
But I don't know.
Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, we're earmarking these two bad boys.
That was a team that. Ooh.
We put a pin on these two.
Hey, why didn't you put a pin on them after this? I mean, hell, you had a chance to this season. They did the exact same thing that you did in their 2 previous losses. So I don't know what's going to change next season.
I'm with you.
Man, I don't. This is a hard schedule. This is a very hard schedule. Eastern Illinois, that's
nothing. They're an FCS.
I've never. This is the first I remember us ever or Alabama ever playing Eastern Illinois. That's a new one to me. Usually it's your Wofford or Mercer or
it's
Furman.
the same school.
Yeah,
just in Eastern Illinois.
It's just funny to me.
It's gonna be 56-3.
I'm looking through these SEC
but as
schedules.
far as the schedule goes, like you said, Eastern Illinois. That's the only bad game on the schedule. And like for me as a crazy person, you gotta live with one. You gotta live with one. Like that's just what it's gonna be. I want Alabama to play the Steelers and the Cowboys and the Bears in non-conference play, but that's just not what's gonna happen. So it's pretty entertaining schedule. I would love to be on that Florida State trip. Would love to be on that Georgia trip. Would love to be on that South Carolina trip. Sandstorm. I'll come out just like tripping, just like look. It's the end of the show. Nobody's listening. How many of those South Carolina students are tripping acid the entire game?
Maybe a lot of them,
I would guess a lot.
Yeah, no, it's
I want to see it.
There's a lot of hard schedules in the SEC next year. Not a lot of easy draws for people. I'm looking. I mean, Georgia's draw is not horrible.
Ooh,
you got to go at
Notre
Tennessee. You got to go to Auburn. You got to go to Mississippi State. That's not bad. At Tennessee is tough though. But I mean, Georgia gets Kentucky at home. You get Alabama at home. You get Ole Miss at home. So you get Texas at home.
All right, how about the long
relatively favorable matchups for Georgia? Looking at home and away, still some tough games though.
How about Texas? Their schedule. We made a lot about Texas' schedule this year. They're at Ohio State.
That's a great game.
Right off rip.
That's the Quinn Ewers. That's the Quinn Ewers revenge game.
At Ohio State, obviously Oklahoma. I mean, their schedule's the exact same conference games. They're at Georgia. Like their conference schedule. They're at Florida. That's gonna be tough. Their conference schedule is really not that brutal. They got at Florida, at Georgia, versus Texas A&M. Really. Other than that, it's a bunch of hooey. Well, they have SEC superpower Vanderbilt on their schedule.
Man. Vanderbilt. I like Vanderbilt going up to Virginia Tech. That's pretty fun.
Where did I scroll past LSU? LLM right there. All right. At Clemson right off.
I like LSU. Is like I said, they're the one team I think that maybe has a bit of a challenge at Alabama for the best non-conference.
Yeah, they got Western Kentucky at Clemson, La Tech, and obviously Southeastern.
Yeah, that's nobody, but you got to go to Ole Miss. That's going to be tough. Got to win in the Grove.
It'll be a lot of fun. With this year's schedule done, just having it all flipped.
I think we're going to see a season for the SEC very similar next year, where it's a lot of teams with a couple losses right at the top.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think
so.
Anybody's going undefeated in this.
Have fun 9-3.
That's the new norm. 9-3 is the new 12-0.
Exactly. Let's finish this up, Mason, because we got to get out of here. We are actually going to be talking to some Alabama football players here in just a little bit over the Hank Crisp Indoor Facility as they prepare for the ReliaQuest Bowl. That'll be on the BamaCentral website here in just a little bit. Mason, let's finish it up with a small controversy. This will be 3 days in a row we've talked about this joker, AJ DeBanza. Not even going to Alabama, but the reporting has just been
all over the place.
Awful,
Oh, yeah, it's
awful,
exhausting.
awful, and exhausting. Exactly. That's a great word for it. Look, if you listen to the Joe Gaither show on Tuesday when he committed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you knew what it was. Don't listen to look. I'm listening to people who know what's going on. I know a little bit about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say that I know everything, but we told you the offer was $3 million from Alabama. We told you the BYU offer was probably about $7 million. A lot of that's from Field of 68. Some of that's from different piecing together.
Yeah.
Right? You got jokers saying that everybody you got jokers saying that everybody offered him $5 million. And I think that it's pretty common knowledge that Alabama's basketball NIL budget is probably about $4 total.
Yes.
So, get out of here.
I don't know where the person that reported that, I don't even want to say their name to give them any more credit for what they've done. I don't know where they came up with this information, who gave it to them, or I know that they tried to say, I think that they spoke with AJ Debas's father and the financial advisor, and it's like, so you got your information from the people who had it in their best interest to raise this number up as high as possible. Yeah, that's a great source for this guy. Like, let's be honest. Let's come on, people. Let's have some integrity. Let's get real sources that are credible on these topics, and then let's report the facts. The facts of this, from everything we have gathered from people that we know to be credible,
right,
is that Alabama's offer did not exceed right around $3 million because they simply could not exceed around $3 million.
This guy says that, Alabama went to outside financing to.
Well, they take the Texas A&M route, get some Saudi oil money.
It's like,
maybe, where do they think this comes from?
Maybe, but I think that's really unrealistic. And this is not a pat myself on the back part of this show because, I don't care about that. But, it's just weird to me to be stuck on. No, everybody, Alabama too. They offered $5 million. Do you think really have $5 million?
Do you think that was to try to maybe clear up the name a little bit following the report that he'd been signed for 3 weeks up to that point? So if they want to put out this story, everybody had the same offer. It was not like we were running up the money.
No. What I think is maybe this reporter's trying to curry favor for
possibly
the next 20 years with a high level prospect.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that.
Not like overtly, but just
hey, remember me? My guns, yeah.
If I stick to my guns here on something that's not really that big of a deal,
yeah.
I'll get some more chicken scratch later.
Sure. He's going to BYU. It is what it is. We can,
and I just had a text message from somebody who was listening, talking about asset at USC. So I appreciate you guys who are listening to us on Facebook, on Twitter, YouTube, all the social media machines at Joe Gaither 6. Mason, you got anything else for the people?
I do. I have one thing. I had brought this up last week, but some more information has come out now about it. You remember I brought this up to you, Tyler Lockhart, a recruit that committed to or signed with Ole Miss.
Yes.
Then later in the day, he was signing with Mississippi State, and it was like, what happened? No one knew what happened. This is sad to me because happened is his mother did not approve of him going to Ole Miss, so she refused to sign off on his paperwork that would have sent him to the Rebels and signed him, with that team. And she basically, just forced him to sign with Mississippi State. I don't particularly understand what your plan is here, because the transfer portal is alive and well, my friend, and he will be in it at his earliest convenience.
Another layer.
Oh,
his brother plays for
his brother. Yeah, his brother plays for Mississippi State. Yeah.
The other nefarious layer is rumors are that Jeff Levy says if your brother doesn't sign here, your NIL is getting
youch.
And so Mama says, hey, go protect brother's NIL and get some NIL of your own.
Now that's nasty work if that's the case. That is nasty work if that's the case.
That's rumors.
Yeah.
But that's disgusting.
If that's what's happening, that's horrible. Everyone involved should be ashamed of themselves. Yes. Big allegedly on everything we're discussing here, with no facts, nothing.
That's disgusting.
That's horrible. That that right there, I think, is your real example of why there needs to be some sort of regulation associated with NIL, not, Jimmy Jimmy whatever making, $1 million a year. You should not be worried about that. You should be worried about kids getting their money threatened if they can't get their brother to come sign with the team. If that is the case, that's horrible. I feel very, very bad for this kid. I watched the video yesterday of someone interviewing him after a high school football practice, it looked like, and trying to ask him, and it's just, you signed last week, tell me, how was that experience? Yeah, it was cool. What can you tell me? How was it flipping from Ole Miss? Yeah, my mom didn't want me to go to Ole Miss, so I went to Mississippi State. It's just the saddest thing. I feel horrible for this kid. I hope that, that's not true. Man, I hate that for him. He's a talented player from everything I've seen. Tyler Lockhart. I think he was a 4-star. Yeah, 4-star linebacker.
It's a dirty business, Mason Woods.
This is a nasty, nasty world, college football.
Let's get out of here for the day. We're coming back on Friday. We'll do something. No, Heisman Trophy, I guess, because it's Heisman Trophy weekend. Gross. I don't want to talk about that at all.
I mean, I think we know who's winning
that. Ashton Genty, let's do it. It's probably going to be Travis Hunter.
I think it's Travis Hunter.
But it's Creighton Hate Week, and we'll talk some Alabama basketball as well tomorrow, as we'll meet with Nate Oates at 12 to talk about Alabama's biggest rival coming into Coleman Coliseum. One more quick one.
Real quick, Caleb Odom has locked in 2 more visits, one to Miami and one to Ole Miss.
Not shocked. I mean, these are the most typical programs. I'm going to Colorado. I'm going to Miami. I'm going to hashtag transfer to the SIP, to the U, or duh. Of course I'm going there. Caleb, good luck to you, buddy. Good luck to you. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Caleb Odom on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com.